What's going on, geeks? You're listening to episode 290 of the Geeks Under Grace podcast. My name's Cody Armour. I'm here with Lj.Lowery.
90, wow. What up, everybody?
Yeah, Shelley Nollan.
Hello.
That is 10 episodes away from 300. About all the math I'm able to do. But that's just crazy to me that we're that close.
Yeah.
300.
Like just 200, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, it really snuck up on me. I guess we were doing the 80s. I didn't even click that we were 10 weeks, probably. Most likely.
Unless we take a break or something.
Yeah. Who knows? There's always stuff that comes up. But
yeah. Anyway.
That's pretty crazy. 2.5 months. But in the meantime, this week, we're geeking out about Super Smash Kart, probably. Hopefully not. We'll talk about it later. Batgirl and the rising costs of streaming services. And they are indeed rising. We'll talk about that as well. But first... Yeah. What happened? I mean, at some point it will be. Cable will be the cheaper option. That's crazy to think about. I mean, cable could be the cheaper option for some people, depending on what package you have. Yeah. And how many streaming... Anyways, we'll talk about it later. Yeah. Before we get into the podcast, I did want to say, it's the beginning of the year. If you are trying to think of, if your New Year's resolution was to give more, Geeks Under Grace is a nonprofit. So I wanted to throw that out there. geeksundergrace.com/give. You help out an awesome nonprofit. You don't not just for this podcast. We do Bible studies based off movies. We do reviews of video games, movie, TV, anime, books, board games. I'm trying to think of, did I get them all?
Just about. But the main thing here is that what it helps is with most of the time, depending on certain occasions, a lot of times our writers have to pay out of pocket, and this helps be able to compensate that and just be like, hey, here you go see this movie.
Yeah.
Until
I guess last year, I think is when we started, maybe a year before.
Yes.
If you saw a review on our website of a video game, someone had bought that video game.
Yes.
Every once in a while, we got review copies of things from the actual publishers.
Yeah.
But oftentimes, these really big names, they're that's all out of pocket. $60, $70 now.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's even the video games are expensive.
We've also gone ad free. You can check out the website. The ads, we were like, we really need them, but they look so
I think there may be the standard WordPress ad, that one ad that maybe pop up, but largely we've basically just taken them all down.
They were showing up mid article.
Yes.
And it was over pictures and stuff, if I
remember.
Mm-hmm. It was a nightmare.
You
just couldn't read the article.
We have ditched that ad company thanks to all of you listeners and fans because of the pledge drive last holiday. So we appreciate it.
Yeah. Just help us keep
Thanks
it up.
so much. Again, geeksundergrace.com/give. Every dollar matters, and that is a fact. So,
yes.
We'll get into the games that we have been playing. I'm going to keep mine really short real quick, because I haven't done much. I played Apex. Who would have thought?
That's a major surprise there. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I checked out the arenas, though, so something a little bit different to talk about.
Arenas is so fun.
So it brings me back to what I loved in Destiny with the skirmishes, the 3v3 skirmishes.
Yeah.
And that's basically what this is, but in the Apex realm. The idea stays the same. You need to stay close, stay together, and you can usually just wreck shop.
The strategy is so fun that you can come up with in that.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a lot of people stay together, and so as long as you stay with someone else, you can usually do pretty well in there, which is a lot of fun. I'm not playing ranked. I've just been
right.
Playing. I'm sure if I got ranked, it would get a little bit more difficult. But
oh yeah,
tons of fun, and it also allowed me to play with the different characters. So right now, I've been really using Mirage because the Wraith, as much as I love Wraith, doesn't really have much use in the arena.
See, I don't know. Wraith. I never played Wraith until arenas, and I love I love flanking people and getting the drop on people as Wraith.
No, that's good. That's awesome. I was playing Mirage the arenas, and now I'm actually playing as him in the main game because kind of the same way I can flank people. I can usually throw someone out, they'll start shooting at it, and I can literally get behind them.
The thing that I love with Wraith is I freak people out because they can see me around there kind of a little bit, but it's they freak out when I pop up behind them and they just start spraying gunfire everywhere.
Oh yeah, trying to get you.
Yeah.
You're like boo.
Yeah.
I got to play as Bloodhound quite a bit too, and I'm still not good with him in the main game. But feels pretty good if you do well with him in the arena.
Yeah.
Set that ultimate on and just kind of go crazy. Yeah, so I've been doing that, and then I checked out that Unreal Matrix thing, which is more of a demo than a game.
Yeah.
But cool. I don't know. The people didn't look that amazing.
Yeah, everything else looks really good, but like the character models are kind of not great.
Yeah, and even with the cars, like as much as I love the cars, some of that shading is really crazy. I look at like a Forza game. Forza's kind of been doing this for a couple generations now. So I you have to wonder though, because that's like, how much time do they put into a little demo that's free? I'm sure that Unreal Engine 5 can probably do way more than what this was even demoing.
Yeah.
I'll be really interested because they kind of showcase what it could do.
Yes.
On the back end of everything. But I don't know if that actually showed out in the front end as well as they wanted it to.
Right.
But cool nonetheless. Cars looked really, really good, and the roads looked really good. Water mechanics and things. Water is always a weird, like... I'm always really like, look how realistic that water looks.
Yeah. I love when a video game does good water.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's just satisfying. But yeah, that's all I've been doing.
Cool.
Go ahead, LJ.
That was it. Like over the holiday, was there anything special you played during the holidays, or that was
Oh yeah, you reminded me. Thank you.
Yeah, I was gonna say because it's been a while.
You're like you literally pulled it out.
LJ and I talked extensively last week about what we did over the holidays, so now it's your time. Yeah.
I didn't really do a whole lot, but I did get the Razer Kinshi.
Yeah,
I think it's Kinshi. I think there's an N in there.
Really?
And this thing has been pretty cool. So what it is, for those who don't know, is it's basically a controller that plugs into Kinshi. There's no N. That plugs into your phone. It's a really, really tight fit on the Note 20 Ultra. Like I have to take the case off, and it's real tight. But it feels really good. The buttons feel good. The bumper triggers are like, it feels like you're holding an actual controller.
That's cool.
And then my phone's big enough; it almost feels like a Switch, just about. So it's really cool. And the other thing that's awesome about this is I plugged it in, and it has a launcher that goes with it.
Oh, cool!
That's an app, yeah. And so you can
it probably tells you what games have enabled controller support.
Right. Yeah. It says hot this month, and then it's got just adventure ones, or Ark Survival Evolved, or Batman the Telltale series.
Very cool.
And
that's cool.
Mostly for me, I like using phones for more RPG situations.
Or even cloud gaming now is a big thing you'll get to use that for.
That's what I bought it for, was PlayStation's
the streaming.
PS. Yeah. And then I need to check the Xbox cloud. I don't have an actual Xbox, so I don't know how all that's going to work.
Well, you don't need an Xbox for it. So what it is, it's basically just xCloud. So if you just pay for PC Game Pass right now, you can upgrade to Game Pass Ultimate, and you'll have xCloud, which means you can launch a game right from your Xbox Game Pass app, and you can play right on your phone. I tried it one time, and I played Forza, and hooked up my Xbox controller just to see what it was like.
That's cool.
And it was super smooth.
Yeah, from what I experienced, it was cool. And then there's even games that they optimize for just touchscreen gaming too, for if you don't have a controller. So it's really cool.
That's been my biggest thing, is I think the phone itself is capable of a lot now.
Yes.
But so many of these games that you get on the App Store are set up for touchscreen.
I bet you Genshin Impact would play really nice on that thing.
Yeah, I haven't done that yet, and I bet it would be really cool.
Yeah.
One game that I was really excited about, and then I can't get to work that way, it's the Chrono Trigger successor. I'm trying to think what it's called. Another Eden.
Yeah.
And that's a very touchscreenish, and I was like, man, that would have been really cool.
I would say you should also try playing Arena of Valor or Pokemon Unite with that thing too.
Oh yeah. I don't wonder if Arena of Valor would work or not. I don't know.
I mean, to me, they both have Switch versions, so I feel like hopefully they add that to the mobile.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah.
It's a market that I think we're in the beginning stages of mobile gaming becoming a real
Yeah.
Well,
contender.
Like, even, I don't know why I did this now, but it was just, I want to try something different. But I upgraded to, I switched to an iPhone just to see, okay, what are these like right now? And I've played a couple things on Apple Arcade, and it's just oh, man, these would be really great with a controller. Yeah. So it's, something I haven't played enough to really talk about it, but, there's games on there that I've seen that are, on other consoles and stuff, and I was like, this is a trip. So it's crazy. Mobile gaming is kind of, stepping their game up lately. No pun intended there that time, but yeah.
Cool. Well, that's what I've been doing. I will probably continue using this thing. I love it's small enough that I can kind of just leave it in my car or something, take it out.
Yeah.
On the go.
Sweet.
Love that.
Shelley, no, LJ, what have you been playing?
Okay. I beat 2 video games this week. I beat Guardians of the Galaxy, which is great. Nice. That game is so underrated. I recommend people check that out. It's been on sale a lot during the holidays. And I gotta say, the time you spend with these characters makes me like them almost more than the MCU versions, to be honest.
That's good.
I think it's a good thing. I really, So, we had a Game of the Year article done at the beginning of the year on our website, and Guardians of the Galaxy took it home, and I hadn't finished it yet. So, Guardians of the Galaxy is Geeks Under Grace's official Game of the Year, and I think it won, 2 or 3 other awards on our categories. So I was like, dang, I didn't know enough of us played that game for it to do so well, but it did, and I'm glad I finished it. So it's good. It's underrated. I think people need to check that out. Despite Avengers making people worry about it, and just that game didn't show well, but it's super good. So I recommend checking that out if anybody hasn't. And then the other game I beat over the weekend, real easy, quick game I should have beaten a lot sooner, but I beat Resident Evil 3. The remake, which it's not as strong as Resident Evil 2, but if people want to get into some Resident Evil games, Resident Evil 2 remake and the 3 remake are super cheap these days, and they're very accessible. So if anybody wants to get into any Resident Evil games, those are the way to do it. So yeah, that's kind of what I've been up to with gaming this week.
Cool. What about you, Shelley?
So I haven't really been playing anything super new, but I just wanted to mention that I got a squad win in Super Animal Royale.
So yes, so you're playing it now too?
Yeah, I've been playing Super Animal Royale.
Oh no, never mind. I was thinking of Super Auto Pets.
Oh no, just Super Animal Royale. Which I've been.
Oh, that's cool.
Playing for a little bit.
I downloaded that game and I haven't played it yet.
I'll play with you. It's pretty fun. I think it's fun at least.
I haven't played in a while.
But this just means that all I need left is a duo win, because you can play single, duos, or squad. So I've done a single win, and I've done a quad win, which is super fun. Because before it was I've been playing with my coworkers, and there used to just be 3 of us that would play together, but you can only play in a group of 4, so that another rando will get added as a 4th person. And we were just always at a disadvantage because the 4th person would do their own thing, or would just I don't know, you don't have the communication with them, or we never went to go get communication with them. We were just on Discord on a call, so it was always hard to coordinate, or sometimes we would just have us 3, they wouldn't give us a 4th person. So but we finally convinced one of our other friends at work to play with us, and we were able to get a win, and it was really fun. So I just wanted to mention that I got a dub there.
I got mixed up with Anna got me into Super Auto Pets, which is an auto battler, and the names of those 2 games sound so similar. I'm
animals and things, you know?
Yeah. But yeah, so I was like, oh wait a minute.
Yeah, but that's I haven't been doing anything else new. I did play another round of Mario Kart Superstars, by the way. Really, you kind of just have to play that game for chaos.
That game sounds really fun. I have enough family who are very casual gamers that would like to play that with me if I got it. So maybe one day
I tried to play to win, and I got mad again. And I'm like, you know what? It's all in the mentality. If you play to win, you're gonna have a bad time. If you play for chaos, you're gonna have a fun time. So that's all I have to say about that.
That sounds like playing ranked and casual matches in any game these days, though, too.
Yeah, pretty much. For glory or for fun.
Yep, I choose fun.
Yeah. So again, I didn't really play anything else though.
Cool.
All right, let's get into the gaming news then. LJ, what's going on in the gaming world?
Alrighty, so gaming news has still been pretty light, but there's been a lot of big things. So the first thing, since we've been talking about Mario Party already, we'll keep it in the theme. In the last week, there have been leaks and rumors about Mario Kart 9, saying that it's going to come with a twist, which I guess most Mario Kart games, like, well, a good amount of them have had some kind of twist, but I guess speculation on this one is like, oh, what's that twist going to be?
I know, I think just like, you gave us a big twist with the microtransactions. What type of twist is this going to be now?
One of the rumors I heard is that it's going to share some similarities with like Formula 1 or something like that. It's going to have like a more Formula 1 style theme, which would make sense, I guess, since Formula 1 is pretty popular like overseas and stuff. But I mean, I guess to me with 8, it just feels weird because like 8 you could do so much cars. Like honestly, Mario Kart 8 feels almost like the Smash Ultimate of Mario Kart to me.
Yeah, but it's sort of like the definite sort of...
Yeah, definitive like Mario Kart game.
That's what I mean, yeah.
But then that also brings people, because they kind of introduced other characters in that one, that's been bringing people to be like, oh, what if they just make it like a Super Nintendo kart and have a bunch of different characters in it? Which
is,
good.
I mean,
gimmicky. Like, it doesn't change the gameplay at all, unless it did.
Yeah.
But I wish
yeah.
I mean, besides like the weight classes, right? Like that's a factor sometimes.
The twist thing tells me there's going to be some kind of extra gimmick or some kind of theme.
Like if I can be Link and I can hookshot somebody, and then like,
well, yeah. So that's the thing. Cool. That's the thing is like everybody's like, what if it's like Smash Brothers and you get some kind of like Final Smash type of item you can pick up or something? You know, like,
I mean, all these people who want to play that game just need to play Double Dash.
See, I would love if they made a Double Dash 2 because I've only got to play Double Dash like a very long time ago for a short time. So I would love a Double Dash 2.
Because everyone in that game had relatively exclusive abilities to themselves. Right. Like they got a special item that was just for them. And so that's kind of like what that
even like team synergy, like special items like that would be cool too. Like
I don't know if that's I don't know.
I would
it would
love
be cool
a
to see too. Would be like, I know they've done like boats and then the flying parachute things.
Yeah, the like transition.
If they were to go with different vehicles for different maps, would be cool. I guess. So you were like, you could have like a water.
I could see that,
and then a snow map and do snowmobiles.
They already kind of did. I mean, is going like upside down and going on walls and stuff considered a gimmick enough? Because that was already kind of like in 8.
They did that in 8 too, yeah. How they had the magnetic. Yeah.
So I feel like
I just don't know how you make it twisty.
I know, that's why I'm like, I don't really know what that's gonna. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. What's
such a twist that they haven't done already? It feels like.
Yeah, because they did the doubles thing, and now they're doing they got the going on the walls and going upside down, like. But yeah, I guess I don't know. They may come up with. I feel like the switching vehicles could be cool because then you have to kind of like build each vehicle. And like change that up, right? I feel like that could be kind of a cool aspect. But I feel like it's kind of weak to just be like, oh, let's throw all the characters in here. Like having like Inkling and Link in there and Isabelle is like kind of fun villager, because you have at least I don't know about Inkling, but at least with like Link and Isabelle, like you have levels like stages that are from their games. Like you have the Animal Crossing race and you have the Legend of Zelda ones, which are very cool. So, like, if they were to throw Samus in there and do, like, a Metroid-based I think that could be really cool, but I agree.
Metroid level would be cool.
I think it'd be silly to create a kind of meta where it's like, you know, oh, you're going to play Samus because that's actually the best character in the game objectively, that sort of thing. I think that'd be silly. I think just adding for aesthetic is cool enough, and adding cool levels is good enough. But I feel like it's going to be way too much work for them to...
They would still have to keep the weight class and balance all that stuff, probably. Yeah.
It also doesn't sound like a thing that they would do, the characters-wise.
I just don't think they would do that.
When they say they're going to innovate, they usually do something really kind of off the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Literally.
It's usually a gameplay thing. Yeah, literally.
Yeah. So I did see some other further news, I guess, some stuff today that apparently it's rumored that, like, Pikmin stuff is going to be in it and Star Fox stuff is going to be in it, which adds fuel to that fire.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it'd be neat to see like Fox on some kind of R-wing looking like motorcycle, like, You know, like I don't know, like, but maybe
he'd have to drive his tank, Super Star Fox 64.
Yeah, the tank. Yep.
Yeah, see, it's like I'm all for taking stuff from other games like that in a cute, kind of fun, aesthetic way. I just think it'd be really stupid for them to actually go for like a Smash type of architecture where they're like, oh yeah, everyone has like a unique ability that means like one character is gonna be way better than the others. I think it worked fine for Double Dash. But I feel like if they actually were to bring in a bunch of new characters, I don't know how it would go.
That's quite a balancing act.
It is.
But I think it'd be cool if like Olimar and Fox were bonus characters, almost like Link and Villager and Inkling and stuff like that.
Pikmin race stage.
Oh, a Pikmin stage would be dope.
Because then it's like you see like you'd have like the chomping bulbous things, and you'd have like little Pikmin running around. Oh, that would be fun.
Make sure you don't run over the Pikmin. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I don't know. That could be cool. Again, when I think about the characters, I think about like, oh, can you make raceways that are more inspired by those games? Because I think the Legend of Zelda one and the Hyrule Field one and the Animal Crossing races are probably some of my favorite.
They're really
Mario
good.
Kart 8. They're just so cool. So I'm like, more of that. I'm not going to be opposed.
And that game is still selling like gangbusters, Mario Kart 8. So it's like,
it's like, why are they
what do you do that already isn't done? Like, you have the definitive thing right here.
So
yeah,
we'll see.
We'll see.
Twist.
It's a Grand Theft Auto game. Mario World.
Like Simpsons Hit and Run.
Yeah, you have to steal carts.
That'd be crazy.
Anyways, what else is going on?
Yeah, I guess while we're talking about it too, Nintendo stuff, Kirby. I should have put this in the notes. The new Kirby game got a release date for March 25th.
Oh my gosh, that game looks so good.
And it's
I'm
like
excited.
the 30-something anniversary, so you know there's going to be like...
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh, if we get a Kirby Game & Watch, I might have to grab that.
I haven't played my Switch in a while. That'll give me a good reason to do so.
Yeah, I'm excited for that game. But I was like,
really
ooh.
hyped. I love that it's co-op too. You play as Waddle Dee, his little guy comes with you. I'm just like, Daniel, we have to play co-op in this Kirby game. Like,
oh yeah,
it looks really good. Like, I was really glad to see like actual gameplay. Same with like Legends Arceus, right? They like got a gameplay trailer, and I'm just like, great. I can genuinely be excited for these games now because the gameplay itself actually looks entertaining and fun. Because I'm so tired of like these big open world games where they don't show any gameplay, and you're just like, what the heck do I do? Like, I even remember Breath of the Wild when they were just like showing off stuff, and I'm like, what type of game is this gonna be? So anyway,
Starfield.
I'm pretty hyped for Kirby. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was just another thing I wanted to add. That
cool.
was really cool. The thing that I guess we don't know what to make of this yet. But I guess recently, if you go on the PlayStation Store, some PlayStation Now games are showing up as like with a price tag. So there's screenshots of a Dead or Alive game, a couple Prince of Persia games, like in the PS5 store, that have price tags on them, and people think this relates to Mark Cerny, I guess, posted a patent a few weeks ago saying they've figured out how to do backwards compatibility on PS5 and PS4. But then also they got that Project Spartacus thing, that like Game Pass rival thing. I guess they're supposed to reveal in the spring. So that's also not far off. So maybe something happened there where they were like, hey, let's test this out or something. And so now price tags are showing up on some PS3 games on the PS5 and PS4. I don't think you can like download and play them right now, because I think it just defaults to like PlayStation Now. But
they have said in the past they're not going to let like newer games be released on their PlayStation thing, and if that's the case, like they need something.
Backwards compatibility needs to be the highlight.
Yeah, but I don't really want it unless I can get brand new PlayStation games.
That's true. Well, that's why Game Pass is so appealing. Like, you know, the day Halo came out, everybody was like, let's go, you know? Or Forza.
It's why I have Game Pass.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why Forza was such a hit this year, because like people realized, oh, like that's a thing. Let's go play.
Totally.
Yeah, so who knows what this is, but I'm excited because there's like, I've been wanting to stream PS3 games for a while. I even got a PS3 last year, so that way I can. And then I found out I need an HDMI splitter to even do that, and I'm like, oops, I forgot about that. But I'll still get one of those. But yeah, this is just kind of strange.
What was Persona 3 on? Was that PS3 or was that...
Persona 3 was a PS2 classic on PS3.
Oh,
so I don't know how that's going to work, because like they even put the original Persona 4 on a PS2 classic thing, and I'm like, nobody wants that version. That reminds me, I think I have Persona 3 on my PlayStation 3 download list, so I'll have to go back and check that out.
Nice. Yeah, because I never had a PS3. Those are like... Persona's the only game where I'm just like, I may actually be interested in something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see, because that would be neat if they do put some of those games on there. Those Prince of Persia games specifically, like in that screenshot, I'm like, ooh, like I couldn't stream half of that series because none of them can run well on my PC, like in windowed mode. So, so I don't know. That'll be cool for me. And there's a lot of good PS3 games out there that I don't think people have played yet, so we'll have to see what this is all about. Yeah, so that's gaming news.
Sweet.
All right. Well, we will get into the movies then.
Yeah.
I don't think I saw a single movie.
I don't.
The entire Christmas break.
Sorry.
I have some on my list. I've heard The Matrix, New Matrix, real bad. Plan to watch that, and then Encanto.
So funny, we talked about both those movies last week.
Yeah, we did. We talked about
Well, they're on my list. I meant to get them in. It didn't happen, so my wife is dying to watch Encanto.
It's great.
It's good. I need to watch it again still.
I've been thinking about watching it again. I've had the songs. It's only 2 of the songs, which is the weirdest part for me, because I feel like when I like musicals, like I'll get different songs stuck in my head, like throughout, like week by week, day by day, whatever. It's like it's weird to think of, like, there's some songs in there I don't even remember what they sound like, but there's some songs I remember so well that I think are so fun and good. I do just need to rewatch it again, but anyway, that's besides the point.
Yeah, we had that discussion last week.
Cool. Well, LJ, you saw a movie this week.
Yeah, so I've had my eye on this for a while, but I found out a couple months ago that there's a director's cut of the Daredevil movie from like 2003. And this was one of those situations where I heard it was better than the original, which is the case with most director's cuts, and it definitely was.
It is.
Nice.
Yeah, it definitely is better. It fixes a lot of problems that first movie had, where there was like plot holes and things that didn't get explained. They switched around scenes as well. There are still some cheesy like moments in that movie that I'm like, oh yeah,
that movie's really cheesy.
Yeah, it is. There's a couple very cheesy parts in there that I'm like, yeah, this is still dumb. But then the soundtrack was so of its time. Like they have like 2 Evanescence songs in there, and then they have like a Daredevil like Rob Zombie song. But I was just like, okay, like middle school me totally was down with all of this. But it was good to watch again. It was definitely a better movie, and they definitely go a little dark. Like I feel like it was a little more violent than the theatrical version was. Like people getting stabbed and stuff, and I was like, oh dang, like I don't remember that. Like that's got blood on it. Like like, I'm just like, oh, all right, cool.
Would you recommend it over the show?
No, so that's what I want to get at. Is like for me, back when I first watched that movie. It was that movie introduced me to Daredevil, and me with a vision disability. I'm like, cool. This is a superhero that, yes, he has a superpower, but he still has his vision disability, and I love how that movie showcases Daredevil's like abilities in a way that like you don't really ever see, which is still cool. Like there's some cool things that movie does. Like Michael Clark Duncan, like even though it's like he plays a cool Kingpin. Like I don't know, I just feel like that was good casting, like regardless of race or whatever. Like he played in, I feel like he was still a cool Kingpin. And then I guess I had trouble thinking of why they needed this, but apparently Daredevil, like I don't think this is a comic thing. I'd have to double check. It probably isn't. But he sleeps in this like coffin thing that's like full of water, and like. To me, that would make sense because, like, ooh, like, what if he can't? Like, what if he still hears so much that he needs to be in this, like, pool, in this, like, coffin of water just to, like, drown it out, Like,
I don't remember that. That's cool.
I don't think that's, like, an actual... I don't think that's an actual comic thing. I'd have to look it up. But I was like, you know what? that seems cheesy, but it actually makes sense.
Yeah, dampen his senses.
Yeah, but then there's the stupid things where like Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner get in a fight at a kid's playground, and all the kids are like, fight, 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 you know, like, and I'm just like, this didn't need to happen. Yeah. And then there's like when he's a kid, I mean, I guess I'm spoiling a almost 20-year-old movie at this point. But when he's a kid, he does all this crazy stuff, like does like a backflip and stuff when he fights these bullies and everything. Like he just like gets like, it's cheesy, but it's one of those things where it's like, it was very much of the times. This was around the days we got the original like Spider-Man movie, and then like X-Men and stuff. So I think if you can appreciate what we had at the time, then I think the director's cut will be worth it. Cool. I got it on sale on Vudu for like $5 because I saw it for $15 and I finally saw it on sale. So
it's cool about the disability thing too. I have a friend, and she's deaf, and she's very much like doesn't let it define her. Right. She has hearing aids. You can hardly even see them. Like I wouldn't have known she was deaf until she had said something. Her Harry's usually covered him up and everything. But Echo in Hawkeye.
Yes.
I brought that up, and she was so excited about the character.
Yeah.
Which had like surprised me because she hadn't, talked about the troubles that she's had with being deaf and growing up that way. This is cool. And like on a much smaller, much less important scale, like even for like I'm a short dude, and so like Wolverine being 5'3" is so exciting to me. Like that's not even a disability, but just the fact that they can get a superhero to relate to just about anybody with anything. Like that's not as crazy as like a blind superhero or anything, but it's the easiest way that I can relate to that situation, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. And that's why that movie was so important to me at the age I was at. Just like, just in my situation, I was like, oh, this is so cool.
Representation is important.
It's awesome.
Representation, yes. Yeah.
Like, they talk about like that Spider-Man's thing is almost anyone can relate to Spider-Man, and that was
that's the thing.
That representation there.
And it's funny you mentioned the person who is deaf. It reminds me of the time whenever my new boss came to work, and I was driving our golf cart, and he goes like, he was asking my coworkers like, "Wait, LJ can drive that thing?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude, look at me go! Like I'm taking out trash." I just can't get behind the wheel of a regular vehicle, but I can drive this thing all day long.
That's cool.
Yeah, but yeah, it just it reminded me of that. But yeah, so that movie still has a personal special place in my heart, and I think there's a lot to appreciate about the director's cut version, especially if you've seen the original. It's miles better. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, I watched that this weekend, so that's about it for me.
Cool. Sweet. We'll get into movie news. Movie news is pretty light this week.
Yeah. We don't have tons of stuff to talk about. Really, one is that we got actually some images released for Batgirl. That's the HBO Max movie coming out. So we have her outfit, her Batgirl outfit. Looks very, very reminiscent of the comics with like the purple and the yellow and stuff.
Very accurate to her latest look.
Which I like. I think it's cool that I feel like both in DC and in Marvel movies recently, they've been trying to go back to like the original sort of like outfit designs for a lot of these, superheroes. I know they like toyed with that in like Hawkeye and, WandaVision as well. Just on the Marvel side. But I think it's cool, especially for DC's sake, because like Marvel is already very big and colorful all the time, constantly. Whereas DC, I feel like they've been struck by always having super dark, visually movies all the time. So I kind of like that. It just has a little bit of a pop, a little bit of color. It's not crazy or anything. It's not like as bright as it used to be in the comics or anything. But I just like, I appreciate it. I think it's I think it's nice that they didn't just do like all black for her or something. They very easily could have done that. So,
yeah.
I think it's cool. She looks pretty good. I don't really care crazy for Batgirl, but I'm just not a huge DC person in general. I'm not a huge Batman person in general, but I'm really excited for those who are looking forward to this because it looks pretty good so far. I think they're also trying to do Court of Owls stuff there too, which they're all about Court of Owls right now. It's funny. I think I'm trying to think of what it was. I think this happened in like Marvel too, where it's like they talked about some things in like some of the video games, and then like they were also doing the same thing in the movies, but they were different like characters really.
Yeah.
Whereas now they're doing the same thing here, where it's like, oh, we gotta have core vowels in here, but they're also doing core vowels for like that Robin game.
Oh yeah, the Arkham Knights. Yeah, they're doing core vowels for that too.
Core vowels for that. So I just think it's funny how it seems like all these. It's like they go through the basic like villains, and then they're like, oh, we gotta pull out this niche villain for this thing, but then all of a sudden every like property they own is doing that, which I'm like, I don't know why they don't have the foresight to like
thing too. Yeah. Like that's a fan favorite plot line, and I think they're gonna have to tread carefully.
It's doing the animated movies now too.
Yeah,
they did a few years back. I thought you were saying core vowels for
no
the core vowels,
at least 30 seconds.
Court of vowels,
Court of vowels.
for the folks at home.
Yeah. I was funny. Like, just kind of agreeing. I was like really confused. Got it.
Vowels.
Might be a little sleepy.
Is that what you call multiple owls? A court? Or is that just the name of their? Because I know like a group of crows is a murder. I would think it'd be a flock of owls.
Right? Well, the court is that there's a group of them, and there's like a council of.
I just think it'd be funny if that was also the name of a collection of owls, but I don't know if that's true. That is just something I'll have to look up later.
I'm doing some deep diving right now. It's a parliament.
Oh, that's so much better.
That's more distinguished.
Why don't they call them the Parliament of Owls? That's awesome.
Parliament of Owls. It's so much more. Like, I get core to sort of like somewhat intimidating, but Parliament's like that's established. That has power. Yeah.
Court is quite a synonym, like that. I feel like was very purposeful. Now that I hear that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh man, that would be a cool comic book. Like, the Parliament's been watching us.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe for title's sake, they changed it to court.
The Parliament's been out again.
I totally get that they have court. I just literally was curious. I was like, I know that groups of animals are called.
Could have been a basketball court.
Yeah. Yeah, with owls.
I like the Parliament a lot. That's cool.
I just think Parliament's really funny.
Yeah.
Oh, look, the Parliament.
The Parliament is after Batman.
Did you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, do owls group? I mean, do you get flocks of
I'm sure
owls?
Somewhere. I don't know.
Maybe that's why they're a parliament. It's like such a big deal when they get together.
They just meet up once in a while.
I don't know. I just think groups of animals are really funny. Again, like a murder of crows. Like, it's just so funny.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know who comes up with them. But they're funny people. Okay.
Maybe somebody that got killed by like a ton of them all at once is like, oh, that's straight murder.
Yeah.
In the UK, a parliament is the highest legislator, consisting of the sovereign, the House of Lords, and the House of Commons.
Wow.
A court. See, there you go.
It is a court. Yeah.
That's on purpose.
So it's kind of all right.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
Now that we've extensively talked about birds, we're talking about.
You never know what you're gonna get on the Geeks Under Grace podcast.
Let's move on to Spider-Man, because of course we're gonna have Spider-Man news. Oh my gosh, I can't speak.
Still not done.
What's a group of spiders called? Go ahead.
Look it up.
Yeah, you guys go. You guys keep making podcast stuff.
We're not talking about MCU Spider-Man, though. We are talking about Sony Spider-Man, kind of.
Oh, yeah.
Specifically Andrew Garfield, who we all love. We've all gushed about him before if you listen to our spoiler cast for No Way Home. We all love Andrew Garfield. And Andrew Garfield, this isn't any, like, crazy news.
A cluster. Throwing that out there.
A cluster?
Not as fun.
Cluster of Spider-Men.
Cluster of Spider-Man. No Way Home.
Oh, never mind. I'm shutting my mouth.
Into the Spider-Verse would have been, they would have been a cluster.
Yes, that is a cluster of spiders.
That is a cluster of spiders. Oh.
Okay. Let's move on.
So, again, personally, I don't think this is going to go anywhere. Andrew Garfield has just expressed interest of returning as Spider-Man, probably because, he was great at Spider-Man.
People want him to now?
Want him back. People want him back. And everyone hated Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, but now that we've all basically reclaimed him again, and we're just like, we love you, Andrew Garfield, Spider-Man. He's like, yeah, I like being Spider-Man too. I think so. So it sounds like there's like a podcast he was on, and where he sort of was like, yeah, I'm open to it. And they're interviewing him and saying like, oh, what if you fought against Tom Hardy's Venom, like that we saw, in that Venom verse or whatever they're calling it. He said it'd be a cool idea. So like, it's basically. All the news is that he's open to it, which is cool. Personally, I don't think anything's going to come from it, but it would be super interesting if there was some way, somehow, that they were able to canonize, like, even if it's not him actually showing up as Spider-Man, but if there's something that they mentioned or did in one of those movies, whether that be the Venom movies, or even Morbius, right? We talked about Morbius getting delayed. But
Tobey Maguire Spider-Man in a poster, has Oscorp from Amazing Spider-Man, and then has the Vulture from Homecoming all in the same trailer. I don't know what Morbius is. I'm so confused with Morbius is. I want to see Morbius.
I guess I don't know either. But I just think it'd be cool if they were all canonized to be like
the Amazing Spider-Man's world.
Yeah.
Spider-Man's world
Morbius
cool.
is very funky, but yeah.
That's what I want.
We'll
like the tone fits. Like Tom Hardy's Venom fits the Amazing Spider-Man world so well.
Yeah. I think Morbius could too.
And again, like well, I guess only Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man has dealt with Venom, but it'd be cool. Yeah. It'd be cool if if Andrew Garfield was able to interact with Spider-Man, or with Venom, sorry. It's all a cool idea. I don't think it's going to happen, but it's all very fun to theorize about and think about. I think if anything, taking away from No Way Home, like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man seems very like he's got his life together. We don't need to see more of him. Andrew Garfield seemed to get a lot of character development for someone who, it's not he wasn't his universe, right? He got a lot of character development, and to a point where a lot of people are saying like, oh, we'd love to have him back and doing something, because he walked away with something like from that experience. And then
it would be cool to see like a directly after Amazing Spider-Man 2 sequel that had Venom, and then it would kind of explain there's no way around. Okay, guys, I'm trying to like beat around the bush about No Way Home. He's in No Way Home. We need to establish that. Like,
rip the Band-Aid off. Let's just do it.
Yeah, we can't talk about it and not. The marketing is like already got Spider-Man, both of them in the movies and stuff. Like they've given up on it. Anyways.
Sorry.
If you haven't seen it yet, you're living under a rock.
In that he talks about being ruthless.
I'm not spoiling anything specific. I'm just saying, like, yes, they're in the movie, and like, he has some character development. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I was really trying to beat her at it, and I'm like, you can't talk about this without.
I'm sorry, I can't really.
But it would.
If you don't
there's
know
a line about him
so
being
sorry.
really ruthless after Spider-Man 2, Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yes.
And it would be cool to see Venom be kind of a tie-in to that and why he became.
And he
ruthless.
can fight an alien too.
Yeah. Oh, that would be an issue though. That would be a plot hole for my theory.
Oh yeah.
It couldn't be before. Yeah.
Couldn't be before.
Because a really funny, silly little line.
Yeah.
That's good. But anyways, I agree. I think it would be really cool to see that happen. Tom Hardy, Venom facing multiple Spider-Men would be really weird. There's a lot of rumors about him being in either Spider-Man 4, Tom Holland Spider-Man 4, or Venom 3, Tom Holland being over there.
Without talking spoilers, I don't think Tom Hardy himself will be in Spider-4.
Okay. I mean, he has to be in some capacity just to voice Venom, but...
That's true. That's a good point. I never thought of that.
But maybe not Tom Hardy's character.
Yeah.
What's Eddie Brock? I was like, Brock Lesnar.
I kept calling him Eddie, like, in regards to Venom, I kept calling him Eddie, and then I realized, I'm like, no, he's Tom. This is Tom, not Eddie.
Yeah.
I don't know, I kept mixing them up. It's fine, though.
Ed, and Eddie. Cool. Alright. Hopefully we didn't spoil something that everybody knows at this point.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry if you didn't know that they show up in the movie.
Our 2-week spoiler ban in our community
should be up anyway. We did not divulge any details about what happens, though.
But like,
we didn't.
Even in the news, Andrew Garfield is going around. He's like allowed to talk about it now.
Yes.
Tobey Maguire's allowed to talk about it, so.
It's been in headlines.
There's so many funny videos, so many funny videos. I think we even talked about on the podcast before of Andrew Garfield like denying that he's in the movie. It's so funny to like now in hindsight to go back to those those videos. Like they kept getting on him, and he was like, "No, I'm not in it. Like I'm not. Like I don't know why they kept bugging him, not Tobey Maguire. I think Tobey Maguire just like is really good at avoiding. Those
he was like, "Yeah, I'm in it." I mean, it was almost like he was in the press junket So it was kind of like, why are you in the press junket? Maybe that's why, because Tobey Maguire wasn't making movies outside of Spider-Man. So they did probably put him in press.
It's like, let's ask Andrew Garfield.
Andrew Garfield had Tick Tick
crack.
Tick Tick Boom. And then he just did another movie. Tammy Faye.
Oh, he was in that? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Tick Tick Boom was the most recent, but he probably had a couple by then.
Oh, that's
that gave people.
They allowed him to be in the press junkets.
So they had him twice, so everybody's like, ooh, let's get him.
Because if Tobey Maguire is all of a sudden doing press all of a sudden, you're like,
Yeah.
Why are you doing press all of a sudden?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see.
Cool. All right, well, we'll go from that. We'll get into TV. First of all, let's do Boba Fett. Book of Fett is what I've been calling it, but it's Book of Boba Fett. Did you guys talk about it last week?
Shelley had not watched it, but I shared some thoughts.
I haven't watched it still, so...
Haven't watched it still? Okay.
But biggest thing that... when I'm going to watch it, I may literally watch it until after everything's out. Like,
I've got a friend that does that.
Yeah.
They'll just wait and then binge.
I feel like you could, so far, like I said last week, so far I think you could still wait. You're not missing too much.
Mm-hmm. Since I didn't get to talk about it last week, I didn't love the first episode. I was not sold on it. This last episode, episode 3, I'm much more on board. My biggest issue with it, for those who haven't watched and not give too much away, basically there's 2 different times that are happening.
Mm-hmm.
You're kind of figuring out what happened to Boba Fett, which is really cool. And then you are in the Godfather-esque thing that they've been showing in the trailers, where he's trying to take over Jabba the Hutt's like empire, basically.
Post season 2 of Mandalorian, basically.
Yeah. And so it's the ratio of past and present was really bugging me. I was feeling like there was too much of one than the other. And in this last episode, I feel like really kind of corrected that, and I would love much more of this, of like little flashbacks, and then be more about because I'm just way more invested in this like Godfather story he's got going on.
I still want to know the thread. Like, okay, like what are we getting to? Like, what's the thing? Endgame? You know, like what's the whole point of this? You know, like that's where I'm at with it. Like, it is getting better for me.
He's not protecting any little children, so it's not even a Star Wars thing yet. Yeah.
So that's what I want to know. I'm like, okay, like why are we seeing this now? You know, like. Right. But there were parts of that newest episode which I liked a lot. So now I'm just kind of waiting to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, there's some guest stars that feel like they literally... It almost feels like they came up to the studio and were like, hey, we want to be part of this movie. And they're like, okay, we'll find a spot for you. Like, it worked.
Well, but
the guest stars are so random.
There's a reason for that. Robert Rodriguez is the showrunner.
Okay. That makes sense.
So there's a lot in there that knowing the movies that Robert Rodriguez does, I'm like, okay, that doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, I didn't think he was going to get a line at first. I thought he was literally just going to be in the background chilling.
Yeah.
It very much feels like a high budget, kind of like the Titan show. It felt like a high budget web series. In a lot of ways, this does too. Like, there's so much that's going on that just doesn't feel like real Star Wars. It just feels like what everyone wants Star Wars to be.
Yeah, it doesn't feel. Yeah, it feels very much like a week to week. Like, hey, here's what's happening. Like,
yeah, I love that about a lot more shows seem to be doing this, where it's like the stuff that's happening in it is just so bonkers that you're like, is this really television? Do I get to actually experience this? It's so cool.
I'm looking
Cobra Kai. Yeah, exactly.
Good example. Going absolutely off the wall, and you're like, this isn't normal. This isn't how life works. Like, what am I watching?
The last episode of Book of Boba Fett really highlighted that like mindset of we could do apparently whatever we want. It's gonna be cool. Just a lot of really random, weird, cool things happening. I'm hoping there are 2 hopes for the show. Less likely is that the Bad Batch makes an appearance. I think you've got the actor. Why not? That would be fun.
Yeah.
Plus, I had just finished the Bad Batch, and
they need their cameo. I feel like these shows have to have like one cameo or something.
Yeah, and like it wouldn't be hard. You literally put a Rambo outfit on Boba Fett, and you've got your Hunter.
Though I love how there's a particular character in there that like they just decided to bring from the comics, which is really cool.
Yes,
yeah.
Very, very cool. That kind of blew my mind too. I was like, yeah.
They're pulling from whatever they can.
Yeah, it's really cool. The other hope is that there's a crime lord in Han Solo, played by Emilia Clarke. I can't remember her name. But if she's pulling some strings, I think that would be a really cool villain.
That'd be an odd way to connect Solo.
Yeah. There's a big reveal in Han Solo too. I don't know if how that would pay off or when's that going to pay off, but
who knows?
I would assume more with Ahsoka, but I really don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, I like the show. It did take me a couple episodes to get into it, though. I just didn't care about his desert life, I guess.
Yeah.
Although,
I think that's the most interesting stuff so far.
That's my wife. She was the same way, and I was like, I so don't care about this. I was like, show me Star Wars crime mafia stuff.
I want to see a Star War.
Yeah. Star War. It was like Turf Wars, but in space. Also, episode 2, all of the Dune parallels were pretty crazy.
Yeah, I can see that.
I would give too much away to say anything, but there are so many Dune parallels in that episode specifically. It was really weird. My wife has read the books, and so I was even able to get more pointed out to me that I didn't know.
Interesting.
But some obvious stuff straight from the movie too.
Huh.
Yeah, that's cool. That's Tatooine, desert planet. It's always kind of had, and spice, and there's always been parallels between the two. But yeah, LJ, what else have you been watching?
Peacemaker.
Oh, and I watched Peacemaker. I'm only on one episode though.
So okay, prefacing.
Rated TVMA.
Very, very, very hard TVMA. I would almost say like, there's a few things that I don't even think I've seen in like a TVMA show possibly either. Like, it goes hard. Things I would never expect. But it's also, I feel terrible for saying that it's straight up hilarious because it is. But it's just
in the same way The Boys is.
Yes, actually, yes. I would say
it's like
that would
shocking,
be the best comparison.
Kind of like, oh, I can't believe that's happening.
Yeah. But it also cements my thoughts that John Cena is like in his prime with movies right now, because I loved him in Suicide Squad. Mm-hmm. He was great in Vacation Friends. Like, I thought too. So like, he's been in stuff that he's genuinely been good in and funny.
Which is cool to see him grow, because he was not a good actor at first. Right.
He just did like actually kind of what The Rock is doing now, where he was just doing these like basic action movies, Like, mm-hmm. I mean, The Rock has done more than that, but like,
I think with the Transformers, that Bumblebee movie he was in.
Oh, see, I never saw that.
So stone-faced the entire time. Yeah. And they like would have a few funny moments, but there was just a lot of room to shine that he just didn't.
I feel like he's a great comedy actor, whereas like somebody like The Rock wouldn't. I mean, well, The Rock's been in some comedy stuff, but I feel like that's where John Cena, I feel like, really shines, is in the comedy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
As far as I've seen. So, yeah,
he's really grown a lot.
Yeah, he sure has. But yeah, I guess if you found yourself comfortable enough to watch Suicide Squad, then you can watch this. But to me, it goes even harder than Suicide Squad does.
And probably more than The Boys. Even more shocking.
Yes. Yeah.
Or at least on par. I don't know. The Boys is pretty shocking.
It's a big preface, but it's like, like just being who we are, and you like, we always encourage people to use discernment before you decide to jump into these things.
My favorite thing about it isn't even, I mean, the comedy of it necessarily, but more of the parody commentary that it has on the genre that it, like, it's part of the Batman, Superman, like, DC extended universe world.
Yeah.
Yet it's still making fun of it so hard.
Literally, like, one of the first scenes is like, are you kidding me? You're a superhero? Yeah, right. Like, that's kind of like the parody.
But, I mean, even on top of that, of like, he shows up at his dad's house. Mild spoilers here. and it's just this guy showing up at his dad's house, and it's very normal, and like his dad's house is like they're both so like super American and super patriotic.
Yeah.
But it shows you just like how out of place these characters are actually in the real world, because in their movies they don't seem all that out of place. They're like with a bunch of other weirdos.
Yeah.
But like, you know, he shows up to a restaurant in his costume, and people are like, "What's wrong with you?" And it's just like, it shows how ridiculous, you know, it would be if Captain America were to show up at someone's like house dressed in uniform.
Yeah.
It would just look really silly. That to me is really, really interesting and cool.
Mm.
But yeah, like we said, very, very MA.
Yeah.
I think it's doing a lot like what The Boys is doing, in the sense that it is a parody of the genre.
That's the best
commentary on the
comparison.
genre. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
James Gunn, you know, basically it's James Gunn given full freedom.
Yeah. Full freedom is right. When you say that, it's full freedom.
Yeah. But it's fun. Yeah. If you are, you know, the nudity always bothers me. I really wish that they didn't have, I want that second tier. I don't know, forever want just a thing between PG-13 and rated R. So I think a lot of creators could make something cool there. But they seem to just go like way rated R when they get past that point, because at that point it's like, why not? Like, I would love a middle ground for sure. A lot of that stuff would have been okay and would have been in that realm, but also end of the first episode, super confusing. Need to watch more. Excited to see more. Cool. Shelley, have you seen anything?
No.
No? I will. I got a couple more. I actually watched a lot of TV, apparently. Didn't realize this. Watched the Harry Potter special. For those who don't know, Harry Potter.
How was that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super cool. Cried a little bit. For those who don't know, I'm like, Harry Potter was a really big part of my childhood. I haven't read the books or watched the movies in a long time. I'm not someone who like marathons them at all. But in third grade, I read the first Harry Potter book, and I was told that I couldn't watch the movie until I finished the book. And so literally in the car to the movies, I finished the last chapter of Sorcerer's Stone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I still have all the hard copies of the books. I have Philosopher's Stone, a copy of that. The Fantastic Beasts, Where to Find Them book, the Quidditch book, and then there's one more, the Beetle the Bard. Then I have all the movies on DVD. Yeah, I've got a lot of Harry Potter stuff.
I fell off that series so hard. I even tried at some point last year to like get into it again, but I couldn't.
Yeah,
that's okay.
It's weird because it's like the newer movies I don't really care too much about. I own The Cursed Child, but I haven't actually read it. Like I just kind of.
I was gonna say it sounds like you don't need to.
Yeah, from what I've heard. But growing up, it was like every year I would read another book or two. And I like couldn't wait for the books to come out, and it was a big reason that I read as much as I did as a kid was Harry Potter. It really got me into reading.
Well, that's like when I was reading a lot. I didn't finish all of them, but I read like the first 2 Twilight books and stuff like that, and those movies were coming out too. And so I was like, ooh, like obviously, like, so I kind of get that in a sense. Yeah.
And then I was around the same age as Harry Potter, so like as he was growing up, I was growing up like with him.
Yeah, it's just a nice experience.
Yeah, there's an emotional, nostalgic piece of me that really liked the special. The special, bringing everyone together and kind of talking about stuff was really cool to see. Those actors and Ronald Weasley, what's his name? Rupert Grint. He really opened up a lot in the specials too, which was. Yeah, I haven't seen him in a lot of movies or anything in a long time.
He got an ice cream truck. I don't know. He just kind of lived his life after that, which I fully respect. Life.
Yeah.
So I saw something, I don't know how true it is, but I saw a headline that apparently in like a childhood photo, I guess they showed, for Emma Watson, it was actually a photo of Emma Roberts.
Yes, that is true. That happened.
That's so funny.
It's fixed now. They also got the twins mixed up.
Oh, wow.
The twins were like, they had their names because it's like a documentary style, and they had them wrong.
Wow.
Which I'm surprised they even pointed it out. Like, it just seems like something they would be totally on board with.
Wild.
one of the craziest things to me was like Rupert Grint specifically. He was talking about they all kind of dealt with this. They played the character so long that they didn't really know how to act. They just knew how to play their character.
Oh wow, makes sense.
Yeah, and so that really kind of like bothered a lot of them. They felt like they were very much in this single thing. And then Harry Potter, you know, as the movie started like become over, it was like, well, what am I going to do if I don't have a skill set? So, but it
then
really
Daniel Radcliffe gets to Guns Akimbo.
Yeah, it's true. But they really grew up with their characters too. Like the characters really informed who they were as people for a few of them, which is crazy, but it makes sense if it's, you know, so much of your identity while you're growing up.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I definitely recommend watching it. I'm like definitely just scratching the surface with all the information.
I feel like I still have enough nostalgia for like those like that first half of movies that like I probably would still get something out of it.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it's like the last couple I haven't seen. Like, yeah, Order of the Phoenix was the last movie I watched.
Just to make listeners angry, I was not upset when Dobby died. He took a bludger to Harry in book 3, I believe, and it might have been 2, and I never forgave him. And apparently everyone else did. Dobby's the worst. Someone's gonna be mad at me about that. The other thing that I watched...
the tweets coming in now.
Yep. Hashtag GUGcast. GUGcast, come at me. I also thought that Sirius would come back, and I read 3 books expecting and waiting for him to come back, and everyone told me it wouldn't happen. And I was like, it'll happen. And it never did. The other show that I've been watching is Rust to Riches. I talked like last year about a Rust Valley Restorer show on Netflix.
Yeah.
And this is another Netflix original that like came out at the same time. They're both Netflix originals. They're both about taking like rusty cars and making them nice. Mm-hmm. So that's weird. But I was very like, I'm watching this show, so I chose this one over the other one, and I can't like both. Like I just kind of weirdly had that mindset. Decided to give this one a go, and
that's okay. Joe had his cooking shows. You can have your weird
car shows. Yeah, shows. I know nothing about cars. No, I struggle to change a tire, but for whatever reason,
though.
Yeah, I love it. And so this show, Netflix has been doing a lot of these reality shows that are like super positive. There's not like a ton of drama in them.
That's good.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. The storytelling, though, in this show specifically, is probably better than any reality show that I've seen. They did something like, for example, they were going to sell a car, and they were trying to decide whether or not they were going to sell it, and then they were going to trade up for another car. And I don't want to give anything away, but it was a really hard decision for him for personal reasons. It's like, so what are you going to do, man? And then it cuts to like the car that they traded for being pushed into the garage. It's just cut differently. It's almost like watching, and a lot of times it's almost like watching something that's not reality. Like it almost feels like it's an actual show. Not in that it's acted, but just in the way that they storytell. The other thing that's always bugged me about reality shows is they never address the cameras. So they talk to the cameras on the little like while they're sitting down. Talk about what's going on behind the scenes. Yeah. But like Rust Valley Restorers really annoyed me because they like got stranded on the road one day, and it was so fake. Because I was like, you have an entire camera crew with you, and I know you do because there's cameras behind you.
Yeah.
Like, that have been, like, following your car. So, like, there was no way that they were stranded.
Right.
And so, that's something I really love about I think it's because of YouTube. YouTubers always are, like, talking to their cameramen if they have them. Or, like, you know, like, they're kind of a character in the show. So, a lot of times with Rust to Riches, they will, like, talk to the cameras. Or, one of the times he's doing one of those, like, sit-down things. He goes, one of my best tools in my shop is Tony over here. And so, like, Tony, one of the, like, characters, one of the people, like, comes running in and he's like, I'm a tool in your toolbox? I'm so offended. And it, like, the camera's pan and you can see the entire camera crew as they pan it.
That's great.
And he was like, I was trying to compliment you, man. And it was a really funny moment. But, like, they have no problem like showing off the cameras and the crew and stuff.
Breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool.
Which is, I mean, any reality show, I feel like should. Like, why would you pretend that your camera people aren't there? What?
That'd be cool. That'd be fun to see how reality shows could adapt to that.
Yeah. I think more need to do it. It's a weird, I think, Hollywood thing that they thought that would, like, hurt the storytelling in some way. But I think it makes it a lot.
Makes it more real.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Plus, Rust Valley Restorers, in comparison, was like they would take rusty cars and make them basically buyable, like as cheap as possible. Rust to Riches, their model is to, like, they take a car that's really bad, make it nice, and they trade it for something else that's worth a little bit more money, and they fix that up and try to get to like these like 6-figure cars. And so they do a lot of like $200,000 cars builds. Yeah, so really, really cool custom stuff.
That's neat.
Yeah, it's a weird thing to geek out about, but I'm loving it.
That's cool.
It's definitely made by Netflix. They'll like end an episode right before someone like makes a deal on something, so you have to watch the next episode to know whether or not they bought the car or not. And sometimes they don't. Like the stakes are high. So
I guess you'd call that like a guilty pleasure thing.
Yeah,
guilty pleasure show.
Yeah, I secretly I really love cars. There's just like an expensive hobby, but like there are so many cars that I would like wish I could have. I always wanted to do crazy stuff in high school with cars. I had a little Dodge Omni. I wanted put a like huge pickup motor in, and I always did weird stuff. We cut a bumper. Most I've ever done is I cut an Oldsmobile bumper off. I had this '88 Mercury Sable, and we took an Oldsmobile metal bumper and put it on the front of the car, and then chopped off the sides. And I had this like Mad Max looking car.
Monster Garage kind of stuff.
Yeah, it was fun. We would just like push people around, like push other cars with my car, instead of towing. It was ridiculous. Anyways, we'll get into the news. Let's just get right into Moon Knight because we waited.
Yeah.
It was coming out Monday. We record on Mondays. I was like,
we're not letting
we'll be able to watch it.
Trailer slip by us again. We've had that so many times. We're like,
the
this trailer's
Spider-Man
gonna come out
one
soon.
was the worst.
Yeah, it just happens like while we're
That was like right when we got done recording that time. When
usually what happens, we get done recording a show and then the trailer comes out for something.
During a football game or something.
Yeah, often unannounced. It'll just like pop one up. Or Tuesdays are usually common too. Something will come out on a Tuesday. We record on Mondays, release on Wednesdays. But we got to see Moon Knight. You guys, Shelley, what do you think?
I think it looks super cool.
I want to hear
for a lot
your
of
guys'
reasons.
thoughts first.
I like that it doesn't look like Marvel, so like it just looks really refreshing. I like that. I don't know, it just looks like, it almost looks like a psychological thriller, kind of, which I think is super cool. Like, it just looks really intriguing, and again, it's like these characters who we have not seen at all, or heard about at all, outside of, like, within the MCU, I mean. I also just think it's cool, I don't know, we've been talking so much about, like, representation. I just think it's cool that we're gonna have this guy who has lots of like mental health struggles, and just from the trailer itself, like sleeping disorder issues. I think it's just cool to have that representation as well. So it all looks really cool, and I'm really excited for it. I think I'm more hyped about this trailer than I have been. Like WandaVision was like, that was like the first Disney Plus like MCU show, and there was a lot of like big questions we had about that, so that was like super interesting. But I feel like I'm way more interested about this show than a lot of the other ones, like definitely way more than Hawkeye, like so much more than Hawkeye.
It's an unknown quantity to a lot of people. Exactly.
I don't know,
but also the people that really know Moon Knight are going to be very excited about this.
Totally. I just think I'm really just embracing what new things Marvel has to offer. Like, I know a lot of people didn't like Eternals, but I liked Eternals simply because it had all these characters and things that were new, and it didn't feel incredibly intertwined with the MCU.
It didn't feel like an MCU movie,
Exactly. And so, like, this doesn't it doesn't feel like a Disney Plus MCU show, so that's awesome.
It almost feels like a Netflix like Daredevil situation.
It's walking that line, which makes me excited.
Awesome.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like Disney Plus is what LJ and like that. Like, I'm really intrigued by that for sure.
Looks very
cool. I read a little bit of Moon Knight last year because knowing this show was coming out, I needed to get some idea. So basically, I believe what I gathered from this book, from the book that I read, the book itself took place when he hit a rock bottom as a hero and a person. He basically, in the comic, like he basically hadn't experienced he basically like is a very spiritual thing about how a lot of the time people feel like God's abandoning them. This was like he feels like the Egyptian god Khonshu is what gives him his powers.
Yeah.
When I believe it was like a near death thing. He works for like some mercenary organization, I believe, in the comics. Like the way this comic explained his origin was really cool that I read, because it didn't bit by bit just go over it. It just kind of gave me little details. I'm like, okay, like that's how he is who he is. So when the trailer started, I was like, why is he like speaking? Why is he using this accent? And like, what? Like, I was confused. But then as that trailer goes on, I'm like, it's the multiple personality thing, because that's what a lot of the new Moon Knight series is doing. Is those multiple personalities he's developed over the course of becoming Moon Knight in the comics. So that seems to be where they're focusing this series on, which is cool. That's the stuff I haven't fully read yet, is the multiple personality stuff. Like I knew some of it existed because in his life he's had to take multiple identities, but these multiple identities are legit becoming multiple personalities now. So having that knowledge really like took my head on a trip, like when watching that trailer that was only 2 minutes long.
It's really cool for Oscar Isaac, the actor, too.
Oh yeah,
he's getting a lot more range than I feel like most Marvel actors are like get to.
100%.
Yeah.
Totally.
I think of like Doctor Strange, Benedict Cumberbatch in this new one. I think he's going to have a lot of exciting range to play with as well. But I'm glad that they're giving them the chances to do that.
There was that scene at the end of the trailer when they show the costume and stuff. That was just so brutal. I'm like, this is on Disney Plus? Wow. Okay, like, let's go.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't feel like.
But it wasn't like we're showing this happen like right in front of your face. It was just like, ooh, you can see what's going on, but then you're like, ooh, okay, like they're walking that line real nice.
I think it's super fun.
On vengeance.
Also, I don't know why. The fact that they all have British accents is just also really refreshing to me. I think I'm just tired of having
that's not an actual thing, because that's what threw me off was the British thing.
Right, yeah, because he's like
he was in a whole different location than I think he knew he was supposed to be.
He's like from Chicago or something, right?
Yes, he's definitely. That's what threw me off. He's an American, like.
Okay.
He's from America, so the British version of him was another personality.
Yeah, like that's just
and that's
cool
why he was tripped out whenever he got that phone call.
He's like, "Why you call me Mark?" It's like, that's your name,
yes.
but you're a different personality now.
That's what tripped me out though was how they were doing this British thing for a while, and then when they switched it up, I was like, yes.
Mark Ruffalo, I think, was seen in London filming for Moon Knight, so it might spend quite a bit of time there.
Really?
That's odd.
Wow.
Because then that would have to connect with She-Hulk stuff, maybe, but
possibly.
Who knows?
I think the trailer was really well done.
Yes.
Yeah,
it's got me excited for it.
Even with the limited knowledge that I had enough to go, oh crap, they're doing this thing. Like, so it was cool.
Yeah.
Like, I'm glad I did that little bit of reading.
Want to move in that same wheelhouse. We've got a little bit more news from Marvel, Disney Plus. Disney Plus Japan had an oopsie. They posted a photo and then they took the photo away. That had Marvel's What If Season 2 and Secret Invasion both releasing later this year.
By the way, the release date for Moon Knight is March 30th.
Yes.
If we didn't say that already.
We did not. It's very exciting. It seems so soon.
Yeah. Wow, Kirby and Moon Knight in the same month. That's going to be a good month.
Yeah.
But anyway, so like that for that other stuff to come out later this year seems like a lot though.
Yeah. I feel like there's more too.
And Secret Invasion.
I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I think all the movies. I think Miss Marvel's supposed to come out this year.
I know they pushed a bunch of stuff back, so we'll have to see.
Yeah, and Secret Invasion, like I said, Japan took that away real fast, so nothing announced yet. She-Hulk's supposed to be coming out this year, I believe. That's a lot of shows.
It's weird to think about so much Marvel content coming out this year, where I feel like last year was
such a drought.
I guess there was stuff last year, but I think I'm still scarred by how long it took us to watch Black Widow.
Yeah.
I don't know. Now it's oh yeah, we're finally back into the movies and the shows too.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Coming out every month.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It was actually the first month in a while that we haven't gotten a Marvel movie, and that's because of Morbius being delayed.
Yeah.
We had, it was Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Eternals, Spider-Man, 4 months in a row.
Dang.
So, yeah. I think
it's a good time to be a geek.
2 months between Black Widow and Shang-Chi, but besides that, it was a month.
Yeah.
And then it was Morbius this month. And then I think there was a 2-month break and something else coming up. But
it
would have been Moon Knight, probably. I don't know. Anyways. So much Marvel.
That's a lot.
Yeah. When is Morbius coming out now?
I think not till April or something.
Oh, wow, they really pushed it back.
Yeah, well, so the thing we discussed last week was that COVID wasn't necessarily to blame for Morbius because...
Back to April, yeah.
Sony decided that they wanted to keep Spider-Man in theaters until late January. So they decided, well, let's push our movie back because this one is still going so strong.
Right.
So COVID can't be used as an excuse for Morbius.
I was just supposed to go away to April.
Yeah, that's pretty far.
Probably trying to figure out what universe they're going to put it in.
Yeah, I think that's what people are thinking now.
I was so confused with that trailer.
Yep.
Then the other piece of news, kind of sad news, Netflix is going up in price. The regular... Oh, no, I think I lost the... Oh, no, here it is. Oh, no, it's not. I lost it. Oh, well. Okay,
so when we discussed this, I think we were realizing we were already paying Netflix a lot of money, right? Because didn't the main thing say it was going to be $15 was going to be in the new price, and the upgraded version was going to be almost $20 now?
Yeah.
Or $19.99?
So I'm paying $17.99.
That's what I'm paying as well.
Yeah. And that is going to go up to $20.99.
$20.
This is in Canada. Ooh, I'm so mad that I lost that link.
Oh, man.
But it's $19.99, so $17.99 to $19.99, so go up $2.
That's high for.
And then the mid tier is going to go up to $15.49, which HBO's is $15.
Yeah. Oh man, $20 is high.
Yeah.
Especially when they keep canceling crap, right? It's one of those things where it's if Netflix actually was the home for all this really good stuff, and they didn't just keep canceling stuff. Whatever, I guess.
The problem is Netflix is one of those things I don't use all the time, but when I do, it's for really good stuff. So I'm dude,
it's hard. I think they know that too. They're just
it's we have you.
I'm just well, I want to watch the next Stranger Things, but you keep.
They've been low-key taking my money without me even thinking about it.
Here it is. Basic plan increases $1 per month from $8.99 to $9.99. So you can still get Netflix for $9.99. A standard plan is... I don't think you get HD for the basic plan. I'm not sure on that. Standard plan increases from $1.50. Increases $1.50 from $13.99 to $15.49.
It's the 4K thing, I think, that is the $20 thing.
In premium plan, which would be 4K, and you get a lot more screens. Is $17.99 to $19.99.
I didn't have it until I got a 4K TV, I think. That's when I upgraded to the 4K thing, because it also lets you watch more on more devices, I think, at once as well.
If you're doing $9.99, you don't get HD, and I can't imagine not playing anything in HD anymore. That's not just 4K. That's
that's
can watch
weird.
It in 720.
That's odd.
Yeah. For premium, the $19.99, you do get 4K. You do get the Ultra HD. But more importantly, you get 4 screens opposed to 2.
Right. Yeah. For the moochers on your account.
Yeah. But Shelley, you had kind of made a joke that I think is before the podcast prevalent, and that is cable might end up being cheaper than having all of these different streaming services at some point. For some people, it could be already. You have basic cable, it could be $40. Netflix is now half of that.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a crazy.
So, you have all the other stuff. You have HBO Max as well. It's just hard because it's like there's so many exclusives on so many different shows now.
Yeah.
We just talk about Disney Plus, right? That's never going to get off Disney Plus. Like Moon Knight's never going to be on other platforms. It's just not going to. Disney won't allow it. Exclusivity. Is that even a word? Being exclusive is the name of the game right now. That's what I mean. Yes, that's the name of the game right now. It's why people buy PS5 versus Xbox. I'm guilty of that, right? And now it's why people are getting streaming services instead of cable, even though it's going to just be way more money. And so it's kind of
but then you find yourself paying for multiple streaming services all at once now.
There's also
it adds up like crazy.
As far as the shows, like I'd much rather watch Disney Plus shows than I would like CW shows.
Yeah,
I agree.
Just the
most so
grading quality
in that way,
is there.
Getting that choice of being able to actually like on one hand, it's nice to be able to like be like, yeah, I'm paying for what I want to watch, but still like just so much.
Yeah, I feel like what I'm doing now is the future we kind of talked about before is so I have Hulu Live mostly because like my mom and my stepdad they they watch certain things on television. But also, I have Hulu Live now comes with the like Disney bundle that comes with Disney Plus and ESPN and all that. But then also, I have HBO Max added on to that anyway, so it feels like I'm just paying like a regular cable bill. So like to me, like I feel like we've talked about that before. How eventually you're just going to be able to bundle them all up.
I'm pretty sure I've got a tweet. I know for sure I have a tweet somewhere from like 4 years ago saying calling it now. Streaming services will be a bundle. It was because we were talking about it on the podcast, and I was like, I want to get this in writing somewhere.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
Definitely the future. I'm surprised Netflix isn't something you can bundle in there yet.
And then cell phone providers are letting you get some of these for free with your cell phone plan as well.
Yep. We actually, it's really weird. We have AT&T, and therefore we could get HBO Max for free. But we're bumming off of a friend's. So like it's kind of out of laziness. We could just make an account. We don't plan on leaving our phone company anytime soon. But yeah, no, the bundles are always really weird too. Verizon, I think, has Netflix is what it does, or did for a long time.
And then T-Mobile has Hulu.
Yeah, super strange. I think we will continue to see that though. I think that we'll get big bundles that these companies will sell out for cheaper than buying them all individually.
I'll tell you guys something cool, and I am saving money on is that when I signed up through Apple TV Plus on my PlayStation account, I got 6 months for free. And then when I got my iPhone, I was like, I wonder if this will work because it said get 3 months of Apple TV Plus, and so it basically stacked on. So I don't have to pay for Apple TV for like 8 or 9 months.
That's surprising they stacked it. That's cool.
Yeah, I was very surprised. I was like,
they would cancel each other out or something.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. And I was like, oh, I'm getting away with this. Let's go. Yeah. Anyway, I just thought that was fun.
I definitely think we'll have a world where cable stops being the thing. It kind of already has happened. I mean, I can go, my mom's cable company, if I were to go and ask for her login, I could log into it, and then I could watch live TV online through an app, and then that episode, once it is live, done being live, I can go back and watch that just by selecting it because she has a cable. And that's not even a high-end amount of cable. I think she has something pretty basic. So there's already kind of this feeling of like you can still watch it live and through cable, but even then, like the remotes and the boxes that you get for your cable boxes are kind of a streaming service in themselves too.
Yeah.
So,
I think even Cox has a streaming box now. Like that doesn't even have the cable. It's just a streaming box.
Just a box. I can see it. Yeah. I think she uses Comcast.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Anyway.
I don't know. Crazy. I think that's where it's going. It's almost too bad. Like we kind of took for granted a little bit just how great, you could cut your cable and watch Netflix for a while, and it was like, I was paying $10 opposed to $100. It's slowly kind of finding this like equilibrium.
Oh gosh, that's basically what I pay now is $100 for everything.
Yeah. We pay quite a bit, Disney. Well, no. I think Netflix is the only thing that we're paying. Netflix, and then HBO Max is free.
Yeah. Paramount Plus and Disney Plus, I feel like, are like the cheaper ones right now. Even though Disney's like $7 or $8.
That's the one nice thing is you can kind of cancel these at any time too.
Yeah.
Buy stuff as you want to come out.
Mm-hmm.
As stuff comes out. But I don't know. Hashtag GUGcast. What do you think is the future of television? We've noticed just on the podcast itself, we've gone from cable to streaming services over the last 290 episodes.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's wild that we've been doing this long enough to see the evolution of like streaming services and television.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's wild.
Yeah. Anyways, love to hear your thoughts. You can do that through the hashtag GUGcast on Twitter, or we also have on our Discord a little GUGcast live. You can ask us questions there. Put your comments in the live chat.
We'll read them on the show if you got them.
Yeah, and you can watch us live on Mondays around 8 o'clock Central Time.
Yep.
On the Discord as well. All right. Shelley, where can they find you at?
You can find me on Twitter at TheShellshock24. You can also find me streaming on twitch.tv/Geeks Under Grace. Tuesday nights, I'm still going through Persona 4 Golden.
Cool. And LJ?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at WarHeroLJ, streaming on our Twitch channel. On Friday nights, been playing Kenna Bridge of Spirits, so come check that out.
Cool. And you can find me on Instagram at Cody Armour. Keep gaming, keep praying, and God bless.
Bye-bye.
Peace.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Geeks Under Grace podcast. We love hearing from you, so feel free to ask us questions or just comment on the show by using the hashtag GUGcast on Twitter, or by joining the GUGcast questions channel in the Geeks Under Grace Discord. If you like this episode, consider leaving a review or rating of our show on your favorite podcast app. If you want even more Geeks Under Grace, you can always go to geeksundergrace.com. We love you all so much, so thank you for listening.